Hello, hackers. A very good evening. Welcome to API Hacks 2.0. Sorry for a slight delay from our end. Today, we are here to learn about Agora IO APIs and how we can build projects using Agora. We have Onojakpur Ochuo Amit Sas. He's a software engineer, technical writer, and Agora student ambassador. He'll be giving a walkthrough on how to use the Python Web SDK and how to implement Agora in a Python Django web application. So let's start the session. Stay tuned till the end as we'll be having a giveaway for the hackers who waited.
Uh, hello, hello guys. Welcome to this session. Like I introduced, my name is Ochuko Onojakpo. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a student ambassador, and I'm going to be walking you guys through uh, how to use the Python SDK to implement Agora and how to build a Django application for one-to-one video calls using the Agora SDK in Django. Okay, so what is the Agora SDK? Agora Video Call SDK enables one-to-one small group video chat connections with smooth, jitter-free streaming video. Agora's video call APIs can further enhance social apps with fun features like AR facial masks and sound effects, while business and educational apps can benefit from screen sharing. Agora supports web, iOS, Mac, Windows, Electron and Flutter, React Native, Unity. We'll be learning how to implement Agora using the Python SDK. Basically, Agora, as we can see from what we've gone through, it's uh, kind of a tool that can help us to better implement video calls and video streamings and so on in our different web applications or mobile apps or Android and so on. Agora SDK is not just limited to video. Is Agora also has the SDK uh, for normal audio calls. Agora has SDK for facial recognition and so many use cases Agora could be used for, just so you could be able to achieve so much. So we're going to look at some steps to implement Agora in Python. Uh, these steps will help us to implement Agora SDK in your Python application. Uh, and these steps are given to us through the official Agora Python SDK documentation page on GitHub. So before going through these steps, I would like you to register on Agora.io if you don't have an account there, because you're going to be using their platform to create some accounts before you could make use of their uh, web APIs and SDKs. Uh, just before we go to the next one, let me just show you the just a shot of the website. So you could easily get started here and sign up or go straight here to log in. Since I already since I already signed up, just going straight to login. And the nice thing about Agora, once you've logged in before, you don't need to always input your login details all over again. It simply does like the authentication for you. Okay, Let's look at some steps you need to take to implement Agora SDK in your Python application. Before following these steps, please make sure you have an Agora account, okay? We just went over this. Step one, create a project. So after signing up on the Agora platform, you should be able to see a project management tab. So Agora manages application as projects. So let's say you want to work on a medical medical application that uses Agora's video capabilities. Then you could just create something special for create a project special just for the medical app and name it say medical app, or just so you could keep track of your different applications for their different users. So these are called projects. I You have to create a project on the platform and make sure you could authenticate from there and implement the video capabilities from there. So go to the project management tab, then create a project. You can only create 10 free projects. So Agora has a free tier, although after 10 projects, you get charged for use. This is just to support students and other uh, people who don't really have heavy use cases to be encouraged to just use the application and enjoy themselves. Provide a project name and use case. Select testing mode. This means you will use an app ID to authenticate. Don't forget to click on the submit button. Okay, so let me quickly show you. So this is the after signing up, this is the page that you'll be taken to. This is the Agora dashboard, and you will find the project management tab. You find the overview, the Agora analytics for just knowing how much your projects are faring, the usage, billing centers for payments, and so on. So what we're concerned with is the project management tab. So open this, and as you can see, I have a few projects that I have created before, or I would like you to create one right now. So just simply click on the create button, enter a project name, enter a use case. So we're doing this for educational purposes and for tutoring. I would prefer if we use testing mode since we're not going to be deploying, or we don't really need so much security right now on our application, since most of I think we're going to have to be doing it locally. But for those of us who want to venture out later on and host our applications, I would advise using the secured mode where you have to authenticate with both the app ID and the token. All right, let's go back to our slides. So we provided a project name and use case. We created a project successfully. Now we need to implement Agora in Python. Uh, Basically, we have made sure to get the uh, we have made sure to get uh, accounts running on the official portal of Agora. But uh, now we need to make sure Agora works on our code, and we can make sure we can create more solutions from that. So now we're trying to implement Agora with Python. So this is the official uh, Agora repository and mini documentation for Python. If you come here, you could see that there's a community where there are so many other fields, other sections. There's Android and as many as you can see. But for this session, we're going to be focusing on Python. So the first thing you have to do is to install the Agora Python SDK using this command. So you have to run this on your terminal to install Agora Python SDK. The next thing you have to do is to uh, open your PowerShell either on Windows or on your Mac by using this command. For Windows, you just have to type Python. I think for Mac, you have to type Python 3. The next thing we will have to do is to follow these steps right here. So I'll be explaining each line of code and how they pertain to the use case of the Agora SDK. So the first thing we're going to do, since we installed Agora SDK, we are importing it for use. This is all done in PowerShell. This is done uh, in the shell. Not this is not a whole file. Let me just go ahead and give you a scenario. So the first thing we do is what to import to go to our Python shell. Next we import Agora RTC. Once we are done importing, the next thing is to create an object of the Agora SDK engine, this is what we're going to use for most of this is where we're going to access most of the functions that Agora gives us for building whatever video app we want to build. So yeah, we're creating. Now we successfully created the engine for Agora. Uh, so now we need to start accessing the different functions pertaining to using video app. The first thing we have to do after creating that is to create an object or an event handler. This event handler is what we're going to use in the long run for the various functions that is not listed here. But if you check some examples that we have, if you check some examples that we're given, you'll be able to see some detailed explanation for them. But anyways, you should be able to create an event handler object which will help you to uh, handle so many events like the on join of when the user joins a call, when user leaves the call, what happens, and so many of those scenarios, right? So after creating an event handler object, we're going to initialize the event handler object. uh, okay, uh, I haven't created my event handler object first. So first I do is to create the object, and the next thing I'll do is to and you see each time when you run these various methods that come from our engine functions, you know that if you get zero response, then you know that everything you're doing is correct. But if you're getting anything apart from a zero response, then you know that there's an error somewhere. Okay. So the next thing that we have to do is to initialize our application client. So we are going to initialize our application client. An application client is just a particular use case, a particular, will I say, a particular user that we're going to use, like a particular user at a time. That is what we call a client, and we are going to initialize this through app ID. So we could go back straight to the project tab, and you can see this is API hack Agora. All you have to do is click on this eye and it's copied straight up for you. Open this and just go ahead and initialize. So you paste your app ID here, non value for the token, making sure you're using a global configurations. You might find some settings later on if you read through the main documentation where you could actually configure global uh, different global variables. Let me just copy this. Do I have like a typo? Oh, I have a typo. Uh, Sorry, another typo. Okay, I think this is spelled right. Right, so we got a response there, means that is working fine. The next thing we need to do is to enable our video. So enabling video is usually done when you're using a browser. Normally, when you want to join a streaming application, say if it's Google Meet or Zoom, the popular ones we know, you notice that your web application usually asks for permissions uh, to use your camera or to use your audio. So in the so here we have just enable video, which covers both audio and video, but let's say you just want to do uh let's say you just want to do for audio, so you could go ahead and do enable audio, and that will be done, and then you're just going to record audio, or you could just go ahead and record and add enable video. So the last part we're going to be doing here to finally join a channel. So, like I said, the client is a particular user at a point, although different users can use one particular app ID, but not the same user can have the same client IDs. So, uh, Agora does something that we call channels. Uh, Almost similar to Meet and Zoom. So Meet and Zoom, when we want to join calls, we usually have like similar links where everybody clicks, and yeah, you go straight to like the calls that have those same character values. Uh, for this, we use channels for Agora. Uh, Users or clients who use the same app ID and the same channel name are taken to the same streaming call. So they are taken to the same call stream. So if five people use the same app ID and uh, say the same channel name, then definitely they'll be taken uh, to the same call where they could chat. But for this scenario, we're going to be doing just a one-on-one, one-to-one video call. Okay, so let's just copy this, and we could just specify a channel name. Let's say uh, API hack, and yeah. Taking this, this is going to request, this is going to fire off my, going to fire off the Agora video functionality once a way. So currently I'm doing a course, so it's not going to work. for me. But when you try this on your end, when you click on when you fire this join channel function, you should have your webcam activated and you should start sending requests straight to your application, which is on their main portal. Okay, so you could see return this error, and we could just go ahead when we're done, and we don't want anymore. We don't want to record or stream anymore. We could just go ahead and leave the channel. Okay. Yeah. So this is as far as the Python SDK goes. You can read more into the documentation. You can find that on the slides, which I will share later. You can read more into documentation for the various functions. You can also go through the two use cases here if you want to get into the nitty gritties of how to use the Agora SDK for Python. Okay, so since we are done with the Python SDK and how to implement it, uh, the next thing that we need to do is to actually build a Django application where we are going to actually test this video call. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to install the Agora package. So this is like a helper package that Agora adopted to make use easier for Django developers who work with web. So you could just go straight here to install that with this command. How it works like an app, a separate app in Django. For those of you who know Django, it works like a separate app. What you need to do is add it to your install apps and then just add your URLs and routing, and then I think everything is done for you. Uh, So I have like a written work that I'm going to go over. As an ambassador, I wrote an article to help students to get into using the Django Agora SDK. So I'm going to quickly go through I'm going to quickly go through the article so you guys could understand and get a better insight to this. Okay. So scheduling one-to-one video calls using Django and Agora. Implementing video streaming in web applications could be a bit difficult and messy in Django. Personally, it was a bit problematic for me configuring the WebSocket, WebRTC, and channels for the application. Then I discovered the Agora Video SDK. So these are the prerequisites. The Python 3.7 on UI, Django, you have to have Django installed, text editor, an Agora account, uh, Agora account. I just went over there. So yeah, you have to install Django and the Django Agora uh, package. This is the link to the GitHub repo for those of you who want to actually view the application which I built here. Just want to go through the code and just explore. This is the code. We're going to actually run it so we can see how it works. So yeah, right. So we first build the interface using our HTML. So we build the index page. So this was the index page where users were going to join meetings. Let me see. Let me quickly run the application. So we could just easily walk through the UI as I explain the rest parts of the code. All right. So First designed the UI, uh, where we collected the channels and app IDs, the channel name or meeting IDs. This is how it looks like. So you enter your meeting ID or your channel name, and you just quickly join. Oh, yeah, this is a bit out of scope of this session, but I also built this where you could schedule your calls. So if you wanted the call to happen in the next 3 days or the next 1 week, you could just schedule this, uh, schedule it, and everyone with the channel name can join that or with the meeting ID. This is the schedule page. Uh, where you actually enter the details for meetings where you want to schedule uh, for that date. And this is the success page where after using the application you are taken to. Right. So the first step to actually getting the Django Agora uh, working is adding the Agora to the installed apps in the settings.py. That is the first part we're going to go through. So as you can see here, I just have 10 minutes, so I'm going to run through this. As you can see here, Agora is added along with the main app. So Agora is added just below the main app. Okay. And the next thing is to import the Agora view in project urls.py. Uh, After that, you have to create your URLs pattern for the Agora view. Let me show you that too. So this is done in the main urls.py for the root folder for the Django application. So these are the URL patterns. This is where you add your Agora parts. So you first of all import the Agora view from the application which you added to your installed apps. And the next thing you do is to just create the routing, which is the URLs for this. Okay. Then in the models.py, we had to create uh, uh, we had to give our table a structure where we know what columns where we stored the various meetings that we wanted to schedule or the meetings that we wanted to have immediately. So we did that here in the models.py file. You can find that in the app folder. Okay. So after adding the URLs, adding the installed apps, adding Agora to the installed app in the settings.py, and also defining our models where we save both the meeting details and also channel details. So we can actually tell which channel the user should go to when he actually enters. Is the meeting for the channel uh, today, is it past, is it now, or is it in the future? So yeah, we actually did that by collecting our channel details and for meeting details, so you can see start time and end time. We use that to determine if the meeting is still valid. So creating the app URLs, this is like the main app URLs that controls like the whole routing on the whole web URLs on the page. uh, So the first one we created was the index, which was for the first page that we did, where we entered the channel ID that you wanted to either join, that you wanted to join. The second one is also relating to the first one, just uh two different parts. One is the index part for people who go to slash index, or one is the empty part. The third one I wanted to go through is the schedule. This view is where we this URL links to the view where we actually uh, handle requests for those who want to create new meetings that they want to handle in the future, they want people to join in the future. And the last one is for the success page when you're done attending a meeting. Right, so let's dive into the application logic for round up. So the first thing we have to enter is the app ID. So the app ID, remember you got app ID from here. So you just have to click on that to get the app ID. And then there is a post request that is run on when the user submits something on the page for the index view, submits a channel that he wants to join, automatically sends a post request which it collects this data from, and it then creates a secret and automatically uh, tokenizes that channel that they provided. This channel is then used to create a secure link, meeting link for them. This meeting link is where they will be redirected to hold their meetings. So this is why you see there's a redirect here. And immediately a meeting is created for anyone who wants to create a meeting immediately. So who wants to join, as you can see here, there's a new meeting. There's a schedule. So if you just click on the new, then a meeting is created instantly. So that is handling that logic. Uh, the second one is to handle uh, the when you are redirected to actually a meeting page. So then you check for the channel from your URL. It checks for the channel that you are and what meeting you're meant to be in. Then it creates that channel from the URL. This is just handling saving of the schedule view. So when the user enters details on the schedule page, you could just schedule meetings and save them right to the models along with the meeting details and whatnot. Okay, okay. So this is the URLs. So when a user requests to join a meeting, a record of the channel is stored in the database, which I showed earlier. When a user joins a meeting, the channel is created automatically in the database. We set the channel name to the last added value in the database before initiating the call. So the last user who entered is the last value is the last user who entered the call. So we set the channel name to the last one. You can find the Python code above in the ios.py. So yeah, this is the base ios.py where we set any channel that goes straight to the Agora, that goes straight to this. We just simply just set the channel name to the last channel name that was created, and then the user is sent automatically to that meeting. So that is basically the logic. When the user, let me go over it again. When the user clicks on, uh, enters a meeting ID or clicks on new, a call is automatically generated with a random secret for him is generated in the back end, and then this key is then used to create a channel, and this channel is then sent to the particular URL, to this particular route where the meeting holds, and then uh, the last channel that was created is what is used to open this meeting to check that is if the user is meant to be in this meeting. Okay, so this is basically like a test of the video chat app. Uh, I can't test it because I don't want to cut off, but this is a friend of mine and me testing the application. Yeah. So this article taught you how to build a one-to-one video streaming web application and schedule video calls with Django and Agora SDK. In addition, you saw how easy it is to implement the Agora SDK in your Django application to create an application of your choice. The source code of the Django application is available on GitHub. I showed you that earlier. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to hit me up on Twitter. It's also very nice to join the Slack channel. There's a lot of help going on there, a lot of developers there, so you can join the Slack channel from the link here if you have extra questions to ask pertaining to hackathon or development work. Okay. Uh, I guess this is the end of the meeting. Uh,
Well, we have some questions for you.
okay.
So if you're free, can we take it up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, let me go through it. Yeah, so we have a question from Aryan. If we use in mobile, how to switch between the cameras?
If you're using
Mobile, then how can we switch between cameras?
switch between the same camera or different cameras. Okay, so Uh, the question is tricky, but basically, uh, I stated before that they use Agora uses channel names in the same app ID to host meetings for different users. So what is the same is the app ID. Two different requests is two different users. You get, so if in a mobile applications there are two different requests from one mobile application with the same app ID and the same channel name, meaning there are two users in one channel. So therefore there will be two different video streams from the host, which is the first person to join, and the receiver, which is the second person to join the call. So I guess I hope this has answered your question.
I hope that answers your question, Aryan. We have another question from Rudra. Can we also do it for React web apps?
Yeah, actually, unlike Python, where they had to like uh, create like a helper for the various web application frameworks, React is actually very supported by Agora. And yeah, if you actually go through the if you go through this, you would see you should be able to find React. This is for React Native. Yeah, you should be able to find React somewhere here. And yeah, so this is React. This is for React, a wrapper for React. And also on the Slack channel, I think there's a Slack channel for React. So if you need any help, you should be able to get it there.
Right. And another question from Harshita. She wanted to ask about video SDK and is there any documentation for it? Are you there? I guess there are some network issues from his end, so we'll wait for like 1 minute. Yeah, he disconnected. Yeah, so till then, I would like to or announce the winners of the giveaway. So the session was worth the wait, and so is the giveaway. And the winner for the giveaway is the one who sticked around till the end. And the winners are, guess who? Tech Spirit and Harshita Sharma. You'll be receiving GitHub stickers and surprise goodies from our end. And let's wait for him to join if we can. Let us connect with him. Or otherwise, the question will be answered in the Discord channel, Harshita. So don't worry about that. We'll try to connect with him and answer your question. And thank you all for joining the session. Hope to see cool projects that implement Agora APIs. And not to forget, the project with the best use of Agora APIs will be getting a swag pack of worth rupees 4,500. Agora will also send t-shirts and swags to all the participants who implement Agora APIs in their project. Make sure to register for API Hacks, which is starting from tomorrow. You'll find all the links in the chat box as well as in the description. Make sure to connect with us tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the opening ceremony. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.